With more than 1 in 4 Americans having a side hustle, according to a recent Bankrate survey, there's no shortage of advice on how to get one started. But there is one thing that often gets overlooked, and that's how to protect what you're building.
That's right. So to talk more about that is financial expert, attorney, author, and coach Michaelle Adams. Michelle, welcome back.
Glad to be back.
And I like the snaps. We hear a lot about side hustles, especially in this economy, or people just wanting to start a passion project. What is one thing people commonly forget when they start their side hustle?
So here's the thing. We get super excited about the colors, the logo, the website design, all the accoutrement that goes with setting up a business. But we forget this business is an entity and it needs to be protected just like we would protect our child. We want to make sure that there's legal as well as financial protections in place for the business. So it starts there.
Okay, well, how does one do that? Because even you just saying that sounds like a big task to take on.
Yes. So here's the thing. Sometimes we have to first start looking at what type of business am I really setting up? Is this a solopreneur type of entity? Is it an LLC, which I would suggest for most side hustle business owners? Or you could choose another form of business structure. But the biggest reason why you want to make sure that there are protections in place is for liability. Because if you have everything still in your name, then if you get sued, they're going to come after the whole kit and caboodle, that's a legal term, and not just your business stuff. They're going to come after everything that you own. So you want to make sure that there is clear separation. So that's the key word I want people to hear, separation of their personal and their business entities or expenses.
So how does one do that? Just from an LLC? Do you have to have an operating agreement? Like, what would you recommend to protect yourself?
Yes. So in particular, if you have an LLC, you want to make sure that you do have an operating agreement in place. The operating agreement for me is like a mixture of an instruction manual as well as a prenup for the business. And why do I say that? Instruction manual, if you're in business by yourself, you want to make sure that if something happens to you, your loved ones or whoever's going to take over, they know exactly how things are organized, what the plan is for the business. But if you're in business with someone, then you want to make sure that there are areas that are taken care of. Supposing someone wants to leave the business, supposing we need to confirm what the profits are and how they're going to be distributed, how decisions are being made, things along those lines. I've worked with so many people, and I'll just share this story. They are business besties is what I call them. 2 young women, they started a luxury candle company, Casablanca, it's amazing, but they realized they needed to put something in place so that if one day perhaps one person feels somewhat differently about the business, now they are protected, not just them individually, but as partners and for their loved ones who may reap the benefits of that business.
And when you say protecting yourself, you're not just talking about like a rainy day fund, but this is in preparation of, should the worst happen.
Exactly. Always keep in mind you have to stay ready so you don't have to get ready, right? And so if something should happen, and that if is so elusive, what am I talking about? Supposing you get incapacitated, you walk out your door, something happens to you, you want to make sure, God forbid if that happens, that there is an action plan in place so that someone knows, oh, this is where Michelle has her business bank accounts. This is where she keeps the key to open up the filing cabinet that has all the client files in it. This is the key to the office or wherever you have your business transactions take place. All of those things are important, and when someone becomes incapacitated or worse at their death, no one knows how to find this information unless a roadmap has been left for them via this operating agreement.
It's really good advice. If you could leave viewers with just one takeaway right now, Michelle, in regard to starting a side hustle, what would it be?
So I would say, keep in mind, you may not at this point have that Shark Tank ready idea. However, it could blow up to be that. And so you want to make sure that you put some of these protections in place. I would say start off at a very minimum with examining how your business is set up. Make sure it's done properly through the Secretary of State's website, and then make sure you get that operating agreement in place. It's so easy to put something together. The problem happens when you don't do anything.
Okay, really good advice. Yes. Michaelle Adams, thank you so much for being here and imparting your wisdom. If you want to learn more from Michelle, you can by following her on Instagram at family-legacy-attorney.